Week 27, day 2, interactive component library. So in this task, you're going to create a small reusable component library in your prototyping tool. And this could be something where you establish a foundational set of things that are common in component libraries. Or you can go the other direction of finding a component you want to build, a sort of more complex component, breaking it down into its individual components. And then starting to make decisions about those and design them out, including how they flexibly work across multiple experiences, how they handle different situations when they're deployed in that way. And the example for this would be, a shopping app. In this case, it's the Mayhem Marketplace, where you have, these different sort of iterations of a clickable link or a click target, the description, the price, how they combine on this section, including this data tag, this meta tag, to classify the object, this image, the addition of animation, and then how they combine to make a card for the product. So you could take that and break it down into its individual components. Think about how they change. For instance, you have this title over here, but once it expands too long, it adds the ellipsis. So there are all sorts of small decisions to make here. How will it handle different situations? Will it line break? Will it truncate? So on and so forth. So you kind of have those two directions to go, or some hybrid of them. One, think about it from the pursuit of a design library or a component library or a design system. The other is to think about it from a component that you have in front of you that you need to build and breaking it down into its foundational components. Think about all of the interactive states that exist there and how you'll transition between them. So even though this is a hover state, I think this is just an on-off, right? There's no animation, but what if it would benefit from that? Maybe there is a little transition there, or maybe it's just that the colors, it's a light green and a white, and they're close enough together that it feels softer. And at the end of the day, you'll have a mini component set with the interactivity baked in, and if you go sort of that second route, you'll have a component that demonstrates those things. It can be really interesting things to show folks when they are looking at your portfolio or you're showing examples of your UI work. And again, here we have the UI design patterns for successful software. It's a course, so maybe not something you would do this week. It could take a fair amount of time to accomplish relative to these design challenges, but definitely a good resource. I'm looking forward to seeing what you produce and honestly the journey you go on in producing this. It shouldn't necessarily be a massive task, right? These are supposed to be accomplished in 1.5 hours, maybe 1 hour. So, think nimbly, but also, focus on achieving a finished thing. However many individual components and larger components are incorporated. And looking forward to seeing what everyone produces.